Well, hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
How's it going? Look
Oh
into the
my
camera. Look into the
God.
camera.
Oh my God.
The camera's over here.
Okay. Can I focus? Can I get myself together?
Yeah, focus on the camera.
Can I get myself together? I'm looking at myself and I'm looking at the background. I'm looking at how we're all together. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it.
What the hell?
Your hair looks good. Did you just get it done today?
I got my hair cut Friday.
Oh, it looks like you just got it done.
I just brushed it. That's all.
All right. Hallelujah. Look at you.
Just brushed it. That's all.
Come on, merch. Yes. Merch.
We have merch. Yes. We are in we are in Gay Boy Mansion Studio D. We have it's not a new studio, but it's one of the newer studios, and we also have newer merch.
Hallelujah.
We would like to thank one of our he's not in our super fans.
He's not in the official
he's not a super
group,
fan.
but
He's not in the official super fan group, but one of our fans, Spill It Boy, donated these donated these shirts.
He knows how to give a show, though.
And he does know how to give a show, but donated these shirts. And so we are having conversations about making possibly one of the official shirts. Maybe if not, I don't know. We are still thinking about that. But I will definitely give you.
I see shirts. I see hats. I see socks. I see underwear. I see BGKH fans. I see BGKH jeans, like Jordache jeans.
You got the look. I want to know better. You got the look. That's all together, working and playing. I can't remember the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't remember any of it. So
Sergio Valente. That's a different thing. Ooh la la, that song. Anyway. But yes, so thank you.
Nothing comes between me and my Calvins.
Come on, Brooke. But so yes, oh my God, it's Bougie Girl. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. We haven't seen you in a minute. Oh my God. Thanks for the time. Yeah.
Yeah, see, come on. You know, we got a summer look. Ooh, I see onesies.
Come on for one. Actually, that'd be very cute.
Yes,
that'd be very cute. But we will keep you posted. But I definitely want to take this time to publicly say thank you so much to Spill It Boy TV. He comes in, and it's the brother, so we're just gonna go ahead and leave it at that. But he has merchandise. He does stuff through his other website, Shade Treasure, and all that good stuff. So we can share that stuff with you guys. But it's Shade Treasure, CHEZTREZUR. But these are limited edition. These are, but
very
again,
limited.
We are having conversations. We'll see what we see what we can come up with. We'll
hallelujah.
So, but other than that,
definitely a romper.
A romper would be cute. And there he is. Yes, Treasure Lane just showed up. He's in the chat, so you all can chat with him. And do me a favor, if you can put your information in there for those that want to go, because he makes masks. Well, first of all, he does every damn thing. So clothes and masks and hair, and he paints and draw. Like, he's a Renaissance man. He's just
and he sucks a good dick.
Listen.
I don't know. I literally just made that up. I do not know anything about that.
But I will say that he can talk about all that if he wants to talk about all that.
Right.
I ain't gonna say all that.
And we missed you too, Bougie Girl. Yeah, we noticed that you hadn't been there, but I know that life sometimes pulls you in different ways, but we are glad that you are here. And
Absolutely.
Thank you. Hey, best friend.
Oh, her. She's there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can speak. Hey, Mufasa.
Oh.
How you doing?
That's true, Bougie Girl. We need a fan that says sucks a good dick. Oh, speaking of sucking a good dick, hey, Freaky McNasty.
I was just talking to that Bristol earlier today. We always
You saw how she tried to come for you when you posted your picture of your pizza? A moment on the lips. How dare she?
I'm gonna leave that alone. But
we said we was gonna be Christian today.
Listen. ChristianMingle.com is all in my spirit right now, so that's what I'm trying to do. Christian Mingle.
Child, all them cakes you got, Freaking McNasty. I ain't got that much time on my hands, so I'm good.
Okay.
He says, "Kiss my entire ass."
If you say you're supposed to kiss my, you're supposed to end with a sugar.
Right. Kiss my entire ass, sugar.
So, but how was your week? Not so weeky.
Everything's fine. Work's fine. Whatever. Monday is officially the start back to the office. Ooh, I go in Tuesday and Wednesday, but I'm going to come in on Monday because we're having a welcome back to the office party, and there's donuts. So, and I had nothing else to do. I generally like most of these people, so since I'm not supposed to be there on Monday, I can come and go. The day that I'm supposed to be there is Tuesday and Wednesday. But I'll probably end up staying. It doesn't make sense to drive all the way down there and then trying to schlep all the way back home. It just feels like a lot. Because I'm one of the people, if I leave, if I come to the office and then go home and you be like, yeah, I'll be back online in like an hour, you will never see me again. You will not see me the rest of that day. So I might as well stay in the office because otherwise it's a wrap for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to reconcile that myself because it's a couple of things, but yeah, whatever.
So there was that. Hey, Dylan. So our baby.
Wait. Are you going to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Dylan. Because I was
have you heard of TED Talks?
I absolutely have heard of TED Talks.
Yes. So our baby Dylan did a TED Talk on Black gay culture, and so here is a very interesting fact.
But before we stop, this is a major.
That is a very
major accomplishment,
and a bunch of people get to do TED Talks.
Right. So, but yes, Dylan, our baby, has done a TED Talk and showed up and showed the fuck out.
Let me tell you. So he showed up with the blue eyeshadow, the blue lips, the blue nails that said TED
and then talk
on it. So it's the attention to detail for me. Yeah. But what motherfucking sold it was these sparkly blue pumps that he had on. And you know how some male identified or male, they want to be like, oh, I want to get in touch with my feminine side, and they come clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, with these pumps on. Dylan stepped their ass out there confidently on that stage and strode across and got into the middle of that red square and said, my name is Dylan Ellington, and sold the kids on it. Turned it all the way out.
All I'm saying is, if you're gonna wear a pump, and listen, Spiller Boy can jump in on this. If you're gonna wear a pump on stage, it better be at least a 3.5 inch.
It was a good height.
Right. That's all that I was concerned with.
It was a good height, and I knew how to walk.
Right. I was like, I saw that pump, and I was like, she's sparkly. She got a heel on it. It's at least 3.5. Check.
Exactly.
Check. That's all I'm saying.
So she turns it.
Yeah.
And then I found out some really interesting facts because he talked about the clubhouse, which I never went to because
I've heard of it
because it closed the year we graduated from high school. No, I think it closed in 1990. So I was in I was in college,
and I wasn't old enough to technically
right before when I turned 18. I mean, I didn't know anything about gay life in DC. When I was 18, I knew where the spots were.
You know where the hostro was?
I knew where like
where one of them
where the bathhouse was.
Okay.
and the bookstores,
Okay.
but I didn't know like gay bars or anything like that.
That was the first place I actually went into, which was actually a gay bookstore. And I took my straight best friend at the time. And when I found out, because we always in Philadelphia, you knew there was a movie theater. You knew it was like it had like the XXX on the front, and all,
Yes,
but you didn't like know what the scenes were. They weren't saying like big black dick. They were saying something like private entry or like
exactly
the rear door or some shit like that. And we snuck in there, and we get in there and we realized as we're sitting down, I was like in the dark, first of all, which was disgusting. We're sitting in a movie theater, we're sitting in there, and it's dark as shit. And so we're sitting there like next to each other. We're like, I'm trying to focus, and then I'm adjusting.
Next thing you feel,
no, not at all. But I'm sitting there adjusting. I'm looking around like, bitch, all men in here. And he's like, bitch, what's going on?
And in
meanwhile, mental note, I was like,
yes!
And then I was like, oh, we gotta go. But I never forgot. I came back by myself.
Exactly. We'll talk about bookstores and theaters separately. But anyway, so one of the things I found out is that, do you know why we celebrate Black Pride in DC on Memorial Day weekend?
I don't think I know the reason. I don't think I know the reason.
The answer is, what is the clubhouse? Because the clubhouse had their, and I'm not going to get all of the words right, but the clubhouse had an annual event on Memorial Day weekend. You just put your phone on site. I mean,
you just happen to. Oh gosh.
It is Wazzy.
So they had their annual event on Memorial Day weekend.
It answered to the question that you raised. That's why.
Okay. Yeah. So the clubhouse, 5 inches. They were 5-inch heels. All right.
With every inch, with every inch, you're closer to God. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. The higher the heels, the closer to God.
That's all I'm saying.
So the clubhouse went out of business in 1990, I think. So the next year, when they started DC Black Pride, they said, well, when should we have this event? Well, as an to honor the legacy of the clubhouse, they put it on Memorial Day weekend. So I was like, you don't say.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I did not know that either. I guess I never really gave it a lot of thought as to why it was on Memorial Day weekend. So
hey, Des.
Children's out. Well, all the old girls come in. So Freaking McNasty and best friend. All the old girls will know. That was. I was in high school, and I was a freshman in college.
I was a freshman in college in 1990. So I was still.
A bougie girl said, "The higher the heels, the better the penis."
Yes.
There you go. So the talk that he gave was really good, and so I was a little annoyed because the thing was listed as like being from 10 to 5, and I was like, so when
what
is
time?
yours?
Like what time? Give me a lane. What time?
And so I'm like, because I honestly do not want to sit through this whole thing. So, but all of the talks that I listened to they range from okay to really good. And Dylan's was definitely, and I'm not saying this just because he's listening, but his was really good. It was informative. And I think it's something that we as, it's part of the history of this city, whether you're gay or not, but particularly if you're part of the LGBTQIA community, the clubhouse is pivotal to the legacy that needs to be protected.
And I never knew that. That's good to know. And but I appreciate. But Dylan's whole paper, I think his dissertation, and I think his entire his program is, well, not his program, but his dissertation is geared towards this.
Exactly. So he's a historian. They're a historian.
So I'm interested to see what the final product is, because I know Dylan had submitted. You were at least posting on Facebook that you had submitted for initial review.
Yeah, and so they're
to
working towards getting these listed on the Registry of Historic Places. Or
good.
Whatever that thing is called.
Good.
That's good. But luckily, so there were 4 sessions.
Okay.
Dylan's was at the first one in session 2. So there were 4 that I had to sit through. Then they had like a break. Then they had Dellins, and then like 3 others because they don't want you to leave in the middle. So after Dellins group, I was like,
excuse me,
I'm leaving now. And he was like, yeah, I know. I was like, but you did a great job.
Yeah.
Bitch, you did a good job. 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 So, but yeah. So it was nice. And all of the so it was put on at George Washington University. And they were super excited to have you here today. Hi, how are you? Is there anything I can help you with?
I'm telling you, DC, the DMV has spoiled people so much because while I'm going to say this is the WIPIPO, it's not always them, but the majority of the time, that is what you get. And so when you go around and you work with, most of the people of color, it's a little bit toned down. It's like, hey, good morning. How are you?
Right.
Great.
But I think it was because they were putting on the event. They were on 10 at like
11
at like 8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, girl, I don't get up this early. I know it's 8:30 on a Saturday, but I'm like, I don't normally get up until like 9:30. So then after that, I did a little shoppy poo, wandering around. Then I came home and, so like, I do love like a good comfort food. Like, I love a mashed potato or a pork chop or whatever, but I also love like a succotash. So I had succotash.
Come on, succotash.
So, corn and lima beans with some sausage and some rice. Hey, Cortez. So I've got my bowl of succotash.
The juice from the succotash.
Exactly, and it's all. So it was the rice, the succotash, and then the sausage.
Hey, Lola.
And I got that, and I got my drink, and I was ready. And I had bought some Bluebell ice cream, so I was ready to fuck that up later. So I'm walking up the stairs, and my foot missed a step, and so the bowl. So here's the bowl, right? And I was like, oh, nope, not going to waste this. Not going to waste this. And then my chin hit the fucking stairs. And then I slid back down the stairs on my front and on my chin and my knees.
Is that the shit you posted?
Yeah, that's what I said. Aunt Bunny fell down the stairs. That was me.
I know. I got that, but I'm like,
and then, so as it's happening, it literally was like, oh, Lord Jesus, Lord, help me. I'm falling. I'm halfway down. And then, so I get to the bottom of, so I am literally like 3/4 of the way up the stairs. I slip because I have on these sandals, and them stairs are slippery anyway. And so I slid all the way down, and my sister's like, oh my God, are you okay? And so you don't want to look at you like
you're like
back up.
You're like, I'm all right.
I'm fine.
I'm all right.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
And then
everything's fine.
I walked around. I was like, she was like, are you limping? I was like, I'm fine. I'm fine. So I grabbed my bowl and my drink.
Listen,
I was not going to waste that big bowl of succotash.
Listen, and not only that, this is why. I say this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This gay. Listen, if I fall, don't let me drop my alcohol, bitch.
It was it was a seltzer water, but I kept the seltzer in one hand and the bowl. I made sure the bowl touched the ground, and then as I was sliding down the stairs,
keep that drink up in the air. Don't be.
And then I hobbled back up the stairs.
Don't be wasting no liquor.
And the rest of the night, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be. But then on Sunday, so I had been noticing. I was like, this grass needs to be cut. This grass really needs to be cut.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, oh yeah, Trayvon don't live here no more. So I guess that's me that's got to cut the grass, huh? So the first thing I had to do was lift 30 pounds of sand and rock, because here's what happened. I have an areaway, and the drain wasn't always draining correctly. So I put 2 bags of sand in front of the door. So, I bought a pump, so that really solved the issue. But that was last summer. So I had to clean out all of the leaves and stuff that got there, and then move the 30 pounds of sand so that I could open the door to get the lawnmower and shit out.
Wait, Bougie, not Ointments, liniments, and absorbing, Junior.
I took a long shower and
God.
rubbed my knees. It just was a little scrape, and I really the shin, the upper part of the shin. So but the next day I don't like to baby myself. So I was like, well, this grass still got to be cut, and there was no other time to do it. So I'm like hobble cutting the grass and getting all of the work done. Yeah, there are plenty of ex-crackheads in my neighborhood.
Probably some current ones that's not far, probably.
Right, and they, all as it is. At today, I'm coming back in the house, coming from the barber. My car's dusty as shit. It's so dusty. It's so dusty on the inside too, with pollen and stuff. That if the sunlight hits it the wrong way, you can't even see the fucking gauges. So I really need to get it taken care of.
There's a place I found that will. I'm sure there's other places, but one out.
I want to try the new spot that's across from the BJ's.
The BJ's.
The Auto Express.
I don't know about that one.
You know where the Olive Garden and stuff is? So across the street, there's Buffalo Wild Wings, a Panda Express, and then it's called like Auto Express or Auto Chalet or some shit like that. And so I need to really get her car done. But as I'm getting out of the car today, one of the ex-crackheads that lives 2 doors down.
I'm glad you finally caught the live. Come on through.
So 2 doors that the guy that lives 2 doors down. Hey, Mr. Brian, need me to wash your car? No, I'm good.
Yeah, you can wash it outside. I'm not going to unlock my door. You can wash it outside.
Right. And then also, Monday, I'm working and I hear. I'm like, am I expecting a package from Amazon? Because I will run in to get the, package from Amazon. It wasn't that. So I was just like, I'm just going to ignore it.
God damn it. Who's at my door?
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. So I go downstairs. I'm like, if this is a fucking Jehovah's Witness or some bullshit.
Get the best of you at that point.
It's some dude like, hey, can I get a little bit of water for the dog? Because there's a spigot outside. I'm about to turn that shit off from the inside because if I hadn't been here, he would have gotten it anyway. But I'm like, nigga, get water from wherever the fuck it is you live. So I'm about to turn that off. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, the water, that spigot doesn't actually work. So,
so let me make sure I understand this correctly. This is a neighbor.
I've never seen this person before, but I don't know all the people that live in this.
A random person
with their dog, who must live in the neighborhood because I can't. This isn't like a fancy neighborhood where you would come and walk your dog. So this person clearly lives around this area. So I was like, why you ain't get water where the fuck it is you live? But I was like, it's all right, just get your little water, but then I need to go turn it off from the inside.
Baby, listen, you better get it because the funniest thing that has happened, but it's the ultimate disrespect. Our next door neighbor rents out their home and had several people coming in. This one particular family that came in, they were just always just off. Like you see the neighbors, you're like, hey, how you doing? But just something was always a little different about them. Well, one day we randomly got a letter in the mail that was anonymous and said, just to let you know, your next door neighbor has been stealing or using your electricity because there's a cord that comes out from their house and plugs into the side electrical outlet of the house. I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
So Ed goes out and literally sees the cord plugged into his house.
Ka-shink.
I was like, who the fuck does that? So I'm mad at him. I'm upstairs. I went upstairs, grabbed my knife, and I was like, I'm gonna cut that motherfucker. He's like, no. I was like, cut the fucking cord, cut the cord. He's like, no, I got it. I was like, I let you handle it the way you want to handle it, but I'd have cut that motherfucking cord.
So that means they living in the house with no electricity.
Bing! In the middle of summer, no motherfucking.
Now I'm not saying that I didn't do that when I was in college.
Let me be
However,
clear. Let me be clear.
The girl Leanna and Lorna were the girls that lived next door to me at
Reed?
No, this is Florida A&M University.
I know, but I'm just saying that Leanna is not a common.
It was Leah or Leanna.
Okay,
Child,
anyway,
that's 30 years ago.
Go ahead.
Anyway, they let me run a cord from their bedroom because I was broke.
Listen,
and so I had that cord, and that I plugged like the microwave or something into it. So because I just didn't eat food that was perishable or whatever. So but the landlord put a kibosh on that. But anyway, so I understand that, but you ask, you just don't be. And that's different because I knew the girls that lived next door. I mean, you don't just randomly
listen.
And them houses in that neighborhood are pretty big. So, child, they could have blown your house up because they wasn't just like they didn't have just one thing into it. That shit came into the house, had like a splitter with like 5 different
exactly. And I was just like, and I got
they had the refrigerator on it, the washing machine, the TV, 2 or 3 TVs, a portable AC unit, baby. They had everything plugged into that shit.
It just baffled me. And the neighbor in the letter said that literally they would do it in the middle of the day when they knew that everybody had left the house to go out to work. And that particular evening, I think it was
just put a cover on it with a lock.
He turned the bitch off from the inside. That's what he did. He just flipped the power off.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
So then there's that. But they also had stopped doing it at that particular point because apparently they had gotten it. I think they still had it plugged in, and he found it plugged in. And then, but I was like, again, cut the fucking cord, put it on the motherfucking porch and let them fucking figure the shit out that what the fuck they're doing. But apparently they figured it out afterwards and got themselves.
I guess they are still living there.
No, they're not. These are the same people that when moving out, they were renting the place, but they took the motherfucking washing machine and dryer. And bitch, the funniest thing for me was watching them take the washing machine and dryer.
Did you say anything?
Bitch, I was looking out the window like Miss Benita Patrol, and the motherfucker slipped. And the washing machine was rolling. I was in the window
down the hill.
Because it's a slight incline.
Yes.
And it was like, and I was just sitting in the window like, God damn, y'all fucking that washing machine. Oh, I was so tickled. But for me, I just knew they would live in the house. I didn't realize they were renting.
Well, and Link says, as a landlord or whatever, isn't it illegal to provide temp housing without electricity and water?
No,
it wasn't temp housing. He was just renting the house. I'm betting it turned out to be temp because if you're doing all that, you ain't paying the rental. It's not like an Airbnb. He wasn't renting it out like an Airbnb.
That is correct. But then the other part of that is once you take ownership of that house, you have a lease. It's not the landlord's responsibility to provide electricity and water to the house.
Lynx is saying he thought you were saying it was like, I think what he's saying is like an Airbnb. Like, yeah, no, you can't rent out an Airbnb without electricity and water.
They were living there.
If I'm giving you a lease, like a 6 months lease or whatever, even if it's a month-to-month lease, I'm not obligated to make sure that there's water and electricity. You got to get that shit turned on in your name. Because if you get that shit turned on in your name, girl, let me tell you, if that shit had been turned on in their name, not only would they have not paid the rent, but they would have ran that motherfucking electric bill and that water bill and that gas bill up.
And for me,
and if the cable was cut on, they'd have been ordered all kinds of movies and shit.
For me, if I was a landlord and the electricity is out, I really want to just pay my rent.
But no, I do care if electricity out, because if you can't keep the electricity on, then that tells me a whole lot of other stuff about you not being able to afford to live there.
That is correct. House and ever. I'm more so concerned about me getting my rent. Now I can work on getting you out of here. I can work on that. I can look at my lease, figure out what I want to do. But I'm just saying.
And if I did,
feel terrible for you living in that situation. I'm not offering to put it in my name or nothing like that. No. But I need to understand, how are you going to take care of this? Because this property is
right. And if he continues to rent it out, which I'm assuming he does now, what I would say is that one, there's monthly inspections, and as a condition of the lease, you have to have the water and the electricity turned on.
Well, yeah, I think that in most leases, I think that is an assumption that's made. I don't think it's explicitly written, but I guess it depends on.
It probably was, but
whatever.
I bet he thought, I got this other house to live in, so let me just rent this house and make a little bit of cash, not realizing that he was getting janky la jank. But, anyway, so that was my week. So how was your? Oh, and tomorrow I'm leaving for Cleveland.
Oh yeah, that's right.
For Claw, yes.
Have fun, y'all.
Yay!
I'm not gonna do it. I can't do But my week was good. It's been a really interesting week as far as work is concerned. We had a lot of nonsense already, and it's going to be a very busy week. I get to work Monday, and I have including myself, it is a team of 9 people. Monday morning, 4 of them called out
because
listen, I don't know why, but they just called out. I was like, okay. So that our already tight schedule and shit that we were supposed to be doing and the stuff that we had to get done for the work was just flipped upside down, and it was just on its ear, and we just had to fucking make it work. And that's what the fuck we did. That's what I do. So, but other than that, it's been pretty cool. I had 2 interviews.
Okay.
And
how'd those go?
They were, well, let me back up. They weren't interviews. They got the resume. They wanted to have a conversation and a discussion. And for me, it's kind of like, I think I was talking to you about this before. A professional friend of mine said to me, apply for the position, let them tell you you're not qualified. Not. So for me, that was, I looked at the position, I said, this is not going to work for me, but I applied anyway. And so when I applied for the position, I did get the immediate callbacks, but it was the last person I spoke to. She literally said to me, she said, well, listen, I'm very glad that we have these qualified applicants that are applying, and you are one of them, but I just want to get an idea, more detail on what it is you actually did in this position and that position. And so I was like, all right, it was great to have a conversation with her, just to talk shop about stuff. And literally she had said to me, well, there are 2 other positions that are actually available. And
where was this? Or do you not want to say yet?
In DC Trinity.
What?
Trinity.
Oh, okay.
So that's the one. And the other one was
Owen.
Well, I mean, I don't need an application for that.
That's true.
I kind of got the
right.
I got the spot.
OnlyFans.
I do not have an OnlyFans, but I thought about it. But we'll see. But anyway, but the other one was another school as well. And so I mean, but again, I felt very good about the first one, and then the second one, I kind of felt like you, on a personal level, when you recommend this, I was like, all right, great. So I applied. I said to her, I was like, hey, just by the way, I applied for these things.
Is the money right?
The minimum of requirement is absolutely right for both of them. And so I was like, okay, great, thank you. So we'll see how that goes. Both of them are on a time frame of like end of May, middle to end of May to start their process. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
everyone send good juju.
Yes, please do that, because I still have like 17 or 18 other things that are out there that I'm looking at. Yeah, but it's been a okay week. Went skating once again.
Lola, he does work in Baltimore, but we're looking for, we are looking for a new gig.
Because it's not.
It's a lot.
It's not work.
It's not giving what it's supposed to have gave.
It's not. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's not. So, but yes, I went skating the other day. I had a good time with that. It's been.
Anani keeps asking me to come. I was like, girl,
you should come. And Spectre was
even when I went the last time I went skating 30 some years ago.
I'm telling you,
I slowly tippy paused it around the rink.
They have the guards that if you want to use them, the walkers or the skaters in front of you, that you can actually use if you want. Because Spectre even asked if they had the guide that he could use because he wanted to go, and I was like, bitch, how are we doing this? I was like, okay, well, if you want to come, that's great. But you should come. It's pretty fun, and I enjoy myself. So it's turning into a pretty.
Y'all see these girls keep trying to, you want to see my downfall. That's what happened. You want to see me make a fucking fool of myself. Well, homie, don't play that.
I don't have that problem. Now I have fallen, yes. Okay, but again, I'm good. Like I just need to get in my groove. And so I'm trying to work with one of the guys there to just start doing some other tricks. And it's been I can't even remember the last time I went skating, but since this go round, but it had to have been at least like 20 years. But it's been fun. It's this good exercise, and you get off and your legs feel like a little bit like rubber, but you have a good time. But yeah, it's been pretty good.
Do they have drinks at this place?
They do not have drinks, but you can bring in your own stuff. and you can eat there. But I'm gonna tell you, don't go overboard. Don't bring the whole bottle. Put your, be a discreet hoe. Put your stuff in a. You're right. I'm just saying, you can bring that in and sit in the corner and do that. So, but anyway, it was pretty good. And I'm gonna go back again Friday. So I'm good with that. So, but other than that, the week has been good. Tomorrow I get to go. I gotta go hang out and do some work. So we'll figure that out tomorrow. I got to be in the office, and then I got to go back in for a 4:00 fucking meeting when my day ends at 1:30.
Oh.
And then I got to go back in the office. I was like, God damn it, I was almost free. But
bitch, my day is supposed to be over at noon tomorrow, and here comes the big boss. It's like, oh, so-and-so isn't available today. So we had a meeting scheduled for Tuesday. Then they got rescheduled to Wednesday because, Paul's not going to be back into the office until Wednesday. It's like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. Then he says, oh, it looks like Paul's not going to be back until Thursday, so we'll need to reschedule this till 1:30. I was like, bitch, I'm going to be on the road. But it's the big boss, so I said to him, I will be taking this call from the car.
Just so
I'm still available. I will still make myself available, but let's just be clear. I'm taking this call from the road. He was like, yeah, so that follow-on meeting that you're going to have, you just need to schedule that for afterwards, either Thursday or Friday. I said, Stuart, I am out of the office on Thursday afternoon and all day Friday. So we'll just pick this up back next week on Tuesday when we already have this regularly scheduled meeting. We're supposed to have a meeting every Tuesday. We rescheduled the meeting from Tuesday to Wednesday. Now you want to reschedule it to Friday when we've already got another meeting next Tuesday. At this point, just put it all next week.
Did he responded and said to the affirmative? Or he just didn't respond?
He didn't respond, but we cool like that. I mean, if he really had a problem, he generally would not have a problem with it because we get along fine. But I ain't scared of him. And some people be like with the big boss, they be like, so and so, I don't do that. I know that I'm good at my job. He knows that I'm good at my job. I know where he is in the hierarchy, so I'm not gonna kiki with him like the way that I kiki with my boss. Right. Like that's the one. When I told the vice president something that he wasn't aware of, and she was like, "Oops, somebody fucked up, didn't they?" And I was like, "Listen, I'm just reporting." He was like, "And you know what happened to snitches, don't you?" She said, "Snitches end up with stitches." I was like, "So you calling me a snitch now?" He's like, "I'm not saying you a snitch, but I mean, you telling people business, so you figure that part out."
Well, I feel the same way with our VP, and she laughs at me. She's like, I don't know how to take you. She's your facial expressions. I was like, right. What do you want me to say? Like, she's like, I mean, we need to work on our facial expressions. No, I don't need to work on my facial expressions at all.
Actually, you do.
I do not, and I'm not going to. And you better be lucky that when we're in these meetings that we've had in person, that I've had my mask on, because I've been behind this mask like. But when I take it off and we're on a Zoom call, if I'm feeling it, that's what I'm just like.
So now, before we get started, news dropped yesterday that this trailer for this movie called Fire Island is coming out, which I'm super excited about because it's a gay movie, but it's not centering white gays. The cast is mostly Asian and male identified.
I think the trailer's been out for a minute, I thought.
No, the trailer just dropped.
I don't know, but okay. The interwebs is always something extra, but anyway, let's check it out.
Let's on with the show.
Stupid bitch Noah every year.
Oh, I made it, didn't I?
This week is sacred. We're going to Fire Island.
And this is why straight people hate us.
And also heteronormativity, Judeo-Christian pathology, anal.
For whatever reason, call it magic, time sort of works differently here.
Finally, my girls have arrived!
And that is our makeshift little family. We all met 10 years ago working at the same cursed brunch spot.
Bottomless mimosas, bitches!
Jackie Chan, hey, you're gonna refill your bud?
I can't believe you talked me into this again. I come here, I just feel terminally alone.
Oh, are you all right?
It's fine. It happens all the time.
Do you want some whiskey? It would help with your knees. You trust me, I'm a doctor.
Exactly.
They have a house on the beach?
Well, we can't go over there. We are literal trash.
Guys, excuse me? I think you may have the wrong house.
Have you seen the way they're drinking? They're clearly using us for free liquor.
Will, promise me you'll try to have a good time.
Do not let these people think that they are better than us, because at the end of never mind.
Okay, guys like that are ruining this island.
Play harsh time.
I have never met somebody who has made it so clear that they think they're so superior than everybody else.
I don't think I'm better than you.
You think that if you're vulnerable for just 1 second, that it's all gonna come crashing down.
Oh my god, my baby's drowning! I don't think I want to be implicated in this. DJ, stick it in!
All you guys, you're like all I have. We're family. That means something to me.
What are we gonna like hug and wrap this up? How does this end?
Why don't we just get a little fucked up and dance?
Okay.
The defense is wrong! My biological clock is ticking like this!
Penelope Cruz.
Oh, bitch, who is this?
What's his name? He's cute. The guy who was holding the I can't think of his name. I've seen him in a couple of the movies. I thought he was cute. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. Let me start by saying that I am not Asian.
I am not as well.
But if I was working somewhere and some bitch called me Jackie Chan, bitch, that will be my last day in the office at that job, because that bottle of that thing of mimosas that we have, I would have poured it in his lap and then bust him upside the head with that thing. But you know what? The girls be doing shit like that.
Reminded me of y'all's brunch story and how y'all stopped going.
Yes, and you know, Facebook showed me today that I was in New York City last week, or in 2018, and we were there the last weekend that Havana Alma de Cuba was open. Although I did look, something I never noticed is that they have 2 sister properties, one of whom has the same unlimited brunch for an hour. So it's called Cuba NYC. So we're gonna have to put that on the list.
Okay. All right. I gotta figure this out. Listen, this summer is already booked. I got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. So oh my
gosh. But I'm looking forward to it though.
So I still haven't. Oh, Dylan said, leave the OJ in, the acid will burn the glass cuts. Something, because there is just no way that you could get away with calling me Jackie Chan without repercussions. Because I don't need no job that bad.
Well, but I mean, have you had people say stuff like, I've had people say stuff like, oh my God, you look like such and such. And it's like, that is not the only black person. And
that is not even how he meant that.
I know.
I know exactly, Jackie Chan, more mimosas.
But what I'm saying is, people have non-POCs have done things similar to that, trying to be a little bit more passive aggressive. That's what I'm saying. So I've had to think of like, oh my God, you look just like such and such. No, I don't. It's okay. But
well, one of the things you didn't see in one of the clips of the movie, because I don't think they showed it, was because they said they all met working as wait staff in this brunch spot. Mm-hmm. One thing you didn't show was them spitting in the jug of mimosa. So I would do that at a minimum.
Well, yeah, and this is why I don't really fuck with people when I go.
That's why I don't either, because one of our brothers, Thomas, gets very nasty with servers sometimes, and I wouldn't be like, yeah, girl.
Well, yeah.
So I'm like, when we go out someplace to eat, I'm like, I'm gonna look at the waiter like, I like you people. I'm Miss Billy. I'm the mayor's wife. I've always been nice to you people.
It's we watched that firsthand one year when we were online, and I was like,
we were at the At the Denny's?
No, when we were at Uno's, we watched that.
Oh, during MAL. Right. I was like, girl, it's Uno's. You're giving you're doing a lot for Uno's.
Like, God, I was like, okay.
Right.
But anyway, we need to still do brunch. We do, but so
I need to find a good brunch spot.
True confession, I don't go to brunch now. I don't go to brunch for the bottomless mimosas because champagne gives me a headache. I don't know what it is. It does. It gives me a headache. And so while I come to be social, listen. While I come to be social, I will drink, not necessarily the mimosas. Me personally. That doesn't mean that I have not fucked up several jugs, but I'm just saying, I've realized it gives me a headache. It does.
What?
It does. It gives me a headache.
Where?
I'm sorry.
How?
I know.
Why?
This is what happens as you
to what extent?
Old crotchety bitch. That's what I'm becoming the old crotchety bitch, and that's what I am. And I've realized
if I ever get so old that I can't drink mimosas, then it might as well just be a wrap for me.
But if you say liquor, I'm right there. That's why I'm like, can I get a cocktail?
Exactly. Best friend said, Epic, that's your body rejecting the cheap shit.
Probably, but every time I've had it, I get a headache, and I try to start off with.
Well, you know a good place to go to brunch, Alero's, because they have the mimosas, but then they also have the they also had the frozen beverages.
Matter of fact.
Right. So don't pay her no attention. She's young and full of herself.
Oh my God, you got a birthday coming up, May 20th?
Yes.
Come on, Bougie. She's a Taurus.
May 20th.
She's a Taurus.
That doesn't mean nothing to me.
You talking about the date?
Yeah, I'm looking.
That is the day before. Oh, that's correct.
Yeah, we can't do it.
We can't do it that weekend.
We
have a lot of stuff going on that weekend. The following weekend.
Oh, that's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's a no.
Well, but if she's,
we'll figure something out.
I don't know. We might have to do this in the middle of the week, and maybe because
it might not be bottomless, but it'll still be several.
Yeah, because by the time we get to June, that first week right there going on.
Yeah, June is just going to be a whole wrap.
That's because that first weekend I got stuff to do, and then the next weekend there's a trip that I got planned. So I got a lot of stuff to do.
You're not going to march in the parade?
This not the first weekend; it's the second weekend.
Yeah, the parade is the 11th, I believe.
Yeah, I signed up for that. That's what I'm saying. We got a lot of stuff to do.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then July 1st, I'm gonna be in Lottie Dottie, Fort Lauderdale, in my cute little 2-bedroom chateau. Me all by myself, just for 10 days. So I'm going on the 1st and coming back on the 10th.
Lord,
the shenanigans. A quiet little time. It's just going to be quiet. It's going to be a little work trip. So I'm going to be working on the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And
you said it's going to be just a little work trip. That's what you said.
Just a little working vacation.
Mm-hmm. A working vacation.
Yeah, get into it.
I mean, listen, you grown. You grown, sugar.
We'll be having brunch on the 22nd, according to. Well, how can we have brunch if we got the crossing? That's not going to work. Is the crossing the same day as Code Red? It is. Oh, well, that's fine. Because it's up in the day.
The 22nd, we have brunch, which is the Code Red brunch afterwards.
Yeah, I'm saying, but I thought the crossing was on the 22nd. But the crossing
first.
Okay, so the crossing and Code Red are both on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, because that's up in the day. All right, that's fine. Mm-hmm. All right. I thought the crossing was on the 22nd, which if we was going to have brunch at crossing was going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Tangerine Dreams, I'm sure. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see because the Tangerine Dream, which was a really cute place though.
It is, but I'm not spending that much money.
It was really
it's just me, so I'm keeping it under $2,000 for the 10 days. Actually, it's costing me $1,800 for the 10 days. So.
Okay, it was a cute thing. Oh, Dylan said the 20th. That's a Friday.
Oh, so the crossing is on the 20th, and then Code Red is on the 21st. I don't know, girl. I'm not the pledge master, so I'll just go where I'm told.
Yeah, I'm just gonna show up where I am because the 20th is. Listen, I'll be coming from work. I'll get there when I get there.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
We know it can't start before like 7. So.
Yeah, because
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
All right, so let's.
I
the
know,
other
Bougie,
thing.
that's what I'm saying. June is exhausting.
Yeah, there's a lot going
It's
on.
Prime is exhausting. But anyway, let's get into
So
some of this
another
stuff.
thing, Michelle Obama ain't too happy about y'all making fun of her portrayal of not Michelle Obama. Viola Davis is none too fond of y'all making fun of her portrayal of Michelle Obama. She says the comments were incredibly hurtful. She says it's incredibly hurtful when people say negative things about your work. Critics absolutely serve no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that to be nasty. They always feel like they're telling you something you don't know. Somehow that you've lived a life that you're surrounded by people who lie to you. And I'm going to be the person that leans in to tell you the truth. She says Davis doesn't appear to regret signing on for the role, saying that win or fail, it's her job to make bold choices. And then at the beginning, she said something to the effect that everything isn't going to be an Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's true, but here's my thing. You basically reduced Michelle Obama to a pair of pursed lips. So it felt more like, I didn't watch the whole thing, but this is from the clips that I seen. It felt almost like it was if she was on Saturday Night Live and being asked to play Michelle Obama. Because it felt like too much of a caricature to me from the little bit that I saw. I have no intention of seeing this movie because I don't really care.
I haven't watched the movie. I've seen pictures of her. I just,
it was a lot.
I feel like as an actor, you are going to focus in on something, especially if you're doing character acting.
Yeah.
I mean, method acting, and you're getting in character. So there are some things that are going to help you either way. And but when I think about Michelle Obama, when I saw the pictures of her doing those faces, it made me think back. These are the faces that she makes,
and she does.
And
to be fair, she does make that face.
Yeah,
quite
like
often.
These are the faces that she makes. So I don't think so. I can see how some people can possibly see it would be a caricature, or it could be a skit on Saturday Night Live. I can see that, but actually, these are the faces that she makes, and I don't think I definitely don't think that Viola was intentionally doing it to be funny.
I don't think she was. I think it was just, probably 25% too much. But as someone pointed out, as Best Friend said, she got an Oscar. She should have told him to fuck off. Well, not only does she have an Oscar, but she has an Emmy and a Tony, putting her
Oscar, Emmy, and Tony.
So yeah, so that's putting her a Grammy away from being an EGOT, which is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. So she'll be all right.
Yeah, and
the work is not going to stop coming in because of this performance.
Her and J Hud are like only one letter away.
What does Jennifer Hudson? She's missing.
She has
an Emmy.
She has an Oscar.
And we know she got an Oscar.
Grammy.
We know she's got a.
She has an Oscar. She has a Grammy, and she has an Emmy.
Yeah,
for the television show. She did the voice in a movie. I think it was. I mean, not movie, production on a show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she needs a Tony.
Tyra said she's a toe. Well, go ahead with the next story.
So listen, Keisha Lance Bottoms. You all remember her? She was the former mayor of Atlanta, or she is the former mayor of Atlanta. She fired off a one-sentence tweet that was punctuated by a shrug emoji. She says, "I was just turned away at Capitol Grill at Perimeter Mall because I have on leggings." Now, one of the Atlanta newscasters quickly responded with screenshots of the dress code, and she said, "I know it's frustrating. They do have a polite notice on their website at the bottom asking guests not to wear gym attire or sweatpants. Hopefully, they're enforcing it with all guests and not picking and choosing." Well, there was a cursory search through social media photographs taken at various locations, and it shows customers dressed in ball caps, gym attire, ripped jeans, exposed fish stockings, even leggings. And so there's one noticeable discrepancy. The aforementioned patrons were white, while Bottoms is black. And so we shall see how this is going to turn out. But it is definitely one of those things that makes you say, dining while black. But
and this time they did it to someone who was the former mayor. So she's just not some random black girl.
Just, right. So it's just, I hopefully we will get it together. And, but for right now, this is what we're dealing with. We shall see.
I would have been like, this would have been the one time where I would have put on my best Karen parted down the center wig and be like, I need to speak to your manager. And when the manager came, because Keisha wouldn't have said nothing. I'd be like, do you know who this is? This is Keisha Lance Bottoms. And in case you don't know, Keisha Lance Bottoms used to be the mayor of this city. In fact, she was the mayor up until about 6 months ago. And she's a correspondent on CNN. Now, we're going to leave, but I just want you to be clear that our leaving does not mean we agree with this policy and does not mean that this situation is over. Because, bitch, I got a platform. And CNN, I mean, CNN is big business in fucking Atlanta. They're headquartered in Atlanta. So, it ain't like,
listen,
so I feel like this isn't going to end well. I mean, Capital Grill ain't going to go out of business because this, but
it's the other part of it is, again, it's
first of all, Capital Grill food ain't that good. So,
whether it's good or not is the issue. But again, this is just one of those things where it's called gatekeeping, and it just, again, perpetuates racism at this particular point. And so while no one has responded to any of the requests as of yet, there's really on one hand, there's really nothing you really can say other than we're enforcing the policy. But even still, it's the optics of the situation. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that because she is the former mayor, she deserves any special treatment.
No.
However, you might want to reconsider that.
She deserves the same treatment as everybody else that came into the restaurant. And if their policy had been to turn away everyone in sort of sports attire, then okay, sure.
Then obviously all the photos that you would have seen of people that have come in that have been where they've taken pictures of other people with baseball caps and leggings on, you would have taken them out as well. But again, this is America. This is where we are. On to the next story. Jill Scott, she speaks out after fans compared her to Lizzo. Now, there is a Twitter post that suggested that Scott was a classier plus-size woman and that Lizzo was the opposite. And I quote, "Your size isn't the reason men won't date you. It's the level of class you have. For instance, let's compare Jill Scott to Lizzo. Men, which one would you date?" Which was what was posted on Twitter by this particular Twitter user. And so when Jill got word of it, Jill was basically like, she responded and she basically said, "Stop that." That's all that she said. And so she basically said, "We're not doing this today, honey. Don't do that."
Right.
And on top of that, as a sister who probably was sitting there saying, "I'm gonna support my fellow sister," and whether you want to call her a big girl or not, whatever she is, she's just gonna support her sister and her fuller figured sister. Let's not do that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And don't get me in the middle of that, because this is we're not going to pit women against each other.
I've seen people saying that the photo in question is a picture of Lizzo getting on a private plane.
That is correct.
With some assless leggings on.
That is correct.
And she's a person of a certain size, and she's got like cellulite and other things, and so whatever. I'm just pointing that out as like a descriptive. I'm not making a value judgment on the size of her body or anything.
This is not the first time that Lizzo has worn her ass out in public.
And it's not the first time that someone else has done it.
Right.
Someone else posted, and I've seen this it's a very sort of sizist, ableist and fat shaming kind of comment, because someone who I'm friends with, who I don't consider a friend, but they like to have what they think are these deep conversations on Facebook, posted a picture of Lizzo side by side with Beyonce, who was in a similar outfit. Beyonce's whole ass was out. It was like in a pair of leggings and whatever. And somebody else said, well, Beyonce is classy because her body is shapely and whatever, and Lizzo is not. And it was like, girl,
Hey,
that's
Coyote.
that's not how this works.
Ooh, Coyote bites on sale. Ooh, okay.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Lizzo. What you want is, you know, as a person of substance, what people want is for us to be like live in shame and in fear and walk around in plastic bags, and they'll say shit like even my relatives, my aunt, before she died, whenever I would see her, would be like, baby, you're looking good, but you need to get some of that weight off you. It's just not healthy for you. I was like, you are diabetic too, ma'am.
Sure. So I will never forget when my sister passed. We were looking for stuff to bury her in, and my mom, I
was
love
larger.
My mom. Yes, my sister was probably wearing I bought her a winter coat, and I think it was like a 4X. I think it was. Now she's also a young lady that started off as wearing 01s and 2s, but again, this is where we are. So the whole thing was we needed to find something to actually put on her, and I kept saying to my mom, listen, I'm at the mall. I see this stuff that I'm going to buy for her. And I sent her a picture. She was like, that's bright colors. We can't do that. You can't put the bright colors on a big woman. I was like, but why not? That's what she liked. And she was like, well, no. I was like, listen, I'm not going to have this argument with you. I get it. That's how you feel. But my mother was adamant about it. What we finally wound up putting on her was an outfit that I literally showed her a picture of my sister in, saying she looked good in this outfit and she felt good in this outfit. That's why we're going to put her in this outfit. And my mother was just like, but it's just so much. And I was like, is that what is that? I mean,
right.
So it just annoys me.
You can't wear bright colors,
like it just
or
annoys
you can't
me.
wear things that are more form-fitting. You know, you're only supposed to wear black and shapeless boxes.
And family, I listen, family feels as though they have carte blanche to say whatever the fuck it is they want to say.
Rudest fucking
and
things.
It's rude, or whether it's rude or not. I mean, listen, I love my family to death, and I will respect my family, my family members, the majority of them. But my grandmother, and I love her. Like y'all have heard me talk about my grandmother. My grandmother said some shit to me, and I'm just kind of like,
what,
girl? What? I just kind of bite my tongue and just like, all right, girl, I get it. Okay. But listen, some of my aunts and uncles that are like, no, we're not doing that. Let's not do that. Cousins, no, we're not doing that. Like, I just have a problem with that. And I always, that's always annoyed me. And especially for someone who one of their favorite colors is citrus green. Like, it's one of my favorite colors. I have something, I always wear something that's citrus green at some particular point. It's one of my favorite colors.
When?
A citrus green t-shirt or a citrus green? I love a citrus green. What are you talking about?
When I think of you, I never think of you wearing anything green like that.
Oh.
I don't mean that as like a swipe. It's
always one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite colors. It's one of my favorite colors.
Yeah, Bougie Girl. Bougie Girl says, I hate that. You're not gonna call me Tubby and I'm supposed to laugh and chuckle because we family. Hell no. And generally, I don't know that they do it so much with women, but like dudes will just like randomly call me, what's up, big man? I was like, bitch, like, you don't know me.
Like, what the fuck is that? They're like, yo, big man, big fella. And like,
you know, I said to myself, namely because I'm not trying to fight the girls in the street all the time, but I should be like, hey, well, how's it going, Bucktooth? Or how's it going, Dead Tooth? Or if you're going to point out sort of my most obvious physical thing, then I'm going to point out your most obvious physical thing. It's like, hey, how's it going, cockeye?
Yeah, my cousin said some shit like that to me one time about like, oh yeah, something, you get a little bit bigger. And I was like, yeah, your hairline's receding too. Like, is that what we're doing? Okay. And he's like, what? I was like,
what? I mean, you just insulted me. I mean,
like,
I don't need you to, bitch, I look in the mirror. I know that I'm fucking gaining weight. I don't need you to point that out to me. And I don't need random strangers to be like, hey, how's it going, big man? Motherfucker, you don't know me like that.
Yeah, but again, family tends to have...
Oh, but then if I say, you know, what's up, cockeye? Now all of a sudden I'm the bad person.
Well, you know, then there's
that. Exactly. Bougie Girl say, hey, edgeless.
So let's jump into this next story. So I'm assuming everyone has heard that Elon Musk has bought Twitter for $44 billion.
That is such a disgusting sum to me, but we'll get to that in a minute.
And the fact that you have $44 billion, I'm sure he's probably financed.
He did not literally just pull out $44 billion.
That's the value. Can I put $22 billion on this card? 17 on this card,
right? And another $7 billion on this card, and then the rest. Can I just write you a check?
Can I write you a check? Yeah,
to be cashed in 2 weeks.
So yeah, but he dropped his money to buy Twitter, and here's the thing. And I remember seeing one of our siblings post something about this on Facebook as well. There has been a debate on whether Elon Musk buying or purchasing Twitter is going to change the conversations that were healthier, or I shouldn't say conversations that were healthier, but promoting healthy conversations on Twitter. But the problem is, and Elon Musk's standpoint is, listen, it's a platform where you can say whatever it is that you want to say, and you should be able to leave that tweet out there, and because it's free speech and it'll promote conversation. Well, the problem is free speech is one thing, but when you are infringing on someone's personal rights and or promoting an atmosphere that is going to lead towards some sort of physical violence, or to make it a very hostile situation, there's editing that needs to happen, in my opinion. Case in point, let's think about Donald Trump and this whole insurrection piece. There is, he was banned from Twitter. And one of Elon
because of his role in inciting this riot,
exactly, and also because it was through Twitter and some of the things that was actually said. So if Elon, who also is no stranger to Twitter and saying some very controversial shit on Twitter, changes Twitter and lets people have these healthier conversations, I don't know how I feel about this. I
know exactly how I feel about it, but go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, I put this article out here because I feel like it's a conversation.
It is definitely a conversation.
It's a conversation that needs to be had. And I feel like there are many people that use Twitter for personal as well as some professional stuff. But again, I still feel like you're creating an atmosphere that can change stuff. And in this article, it was a conversation about it, change stuff from being in the social media to possibly bring it to someone's door because of what the things that you may say or the lack of what you may not say to prevent things from happening. So it could become from social media to actual physical endangerment.
Yeah.
And so it's a debate. It's a thing of free speech, but where's the personal responsibility or accountability?
So Elon Musk is the world's richest man. He's also white and cisgender and male. So he's never had to be in a situation. He's not queer or trans and have had people, threaten him or, people find out where this person lives and they show up at your door.
Right.
Or he hasn't had he's not a woman, so he hasn't had a vengeful ex post revenge porn of her and say, Sally sucked my dick and she'll suck yours and do all of this. And if you want a really good time, here's Sally's phone number. And Sally lives here and she works there. And this is her email address. Because this is real shit that has happened online. Elon Musk is not a Muslim who is not a Muslim girl who was just trying to fucking go to school and learn how to read and is being targeted by the men in her neighborhood who don't believe that women should be educated. Elon Musk is insulated from all of that. So these healthy conversations, those are all buzzwords that conservative, white, mostly male people use for whenever they get called out for saying ridiculous shit that would hurt people either mentally or physically or otherwise endanger them. You know, Bill Maher started his whole show called Politically Incorrect because he used to be on that show that was on remember? He was on that show that was on ABC and he said something incredible. And by incredible, I mean incredibly fucked up. I can't even remember what it was. But it was like 20 years ago. So by today's standards, it was probably mild as shit.
Right.
But whatever it was at the time, so he was taken off of that show. Him in typical white guy fashion is like, but I should be able to say what I want. Well, girl, you can say whatever you want, but consequences. But people like you and I think a lot of the people that watch this, because most of the people who watch this are on this stream or who are our friends do identify as queer. We're not even going to go from there. He is not African American since he's from South Africa. He's a white person from South Africa, but he is not African American. I will say that he is African because he was born on the continent, but everybody that's African ain't black.
That is correct.
So we'll just leave that bullshit there. But everybody that is watching and listening to this stream is probably queer, but we also have a bit of discernment.
Queer friendly, African American,
right?
Or African. Well, I shouldn't say African American friendly, but POC friendly, I guess. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I am not going to be unduly influenced by anything that I see on Twitter. I and most of the people that watch this occasionally will like retweet some news or shit, but mostly use it for porn. So we're not that fucked up over nothing that happens with Twitter. But for some people in other parts of the world and in some parts of this country, Twitter is like a lifeline.
Yes.
Like people have organized revolutions on Twitter.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about this January 6th shit.
No.
I'm talking about real systemic, societal, necessary change on Twitter. And, you know, there are people who believed all of this shit about misinformation about COVID. You know, there are people who believe the dumbass former president based on the shit that he said.
And also in that same vein, not to cut you off, but he has also tweeted misinformation
about COVID.
COVID. He's also retweeted misinformation or misinformation about the rescuers for the kids in Thailand.
This kid, he made a baseless accusation that a man who helped rescue children from a cave in Thailand is a sexual predator.
Right.
So now let's follow that.
Right.
There are some people who think Arab Spring, exactly, Bill. But let's use just that example. We all know who this guy is who helped rescue these kids from this thing. Now, if Elon Musk, who is the world's richest man, so he has a platform even before he bought Twitter, says this person's a child predator. There are plenty of people who run with it. So this dude is now in the airport and somebody stabs him.
Right.
Because Elon Musk says that you are a child predator. I mean, we only have to go so far as Twitter, you know, every fucking day, fucking Marla Gibbs is dead.
Lord,
you know, there's tons of misinformation and people don't read, people don't follow up or anything. So that's the problem, is that now you're giving this one person an unlimited platform. And again, I think people like us, most of the people watching this are going to be like, yeah, I'm not paying attention to anything and I'm not taking anything that's being said on Twitter too seriously. Right. But the problem is that there are a ton of people who have taken act. If you just look at the last 2 years of this pandemic, there are a ton of people who have taken action specifically off of things that they have read on Twitter and Facebook because of the person who said it,
Exactly.
not because someone's Donald Trump said we should all take hydrochloroquine, and then you looked it up and then be like, bitch, let me Google hydrochloroquine. This is a legitimate medical cure. No, these bitches took it just because Donald Trump said it.
And let's not talk about that, because then there was a conversation about, well, maybe now since he owns it, he will now unban Donald Trump.
No,
and then Trump,
even if he does,
he's like, well, I'm going to use my platform. I'm not going back on Twitter, But
he says that he probably is. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
The problem is that we collectively as a society have given these people too much power, or we assume that they are smart just because they have money. I saw something today that talked about how, these quote unquote self-made men, none of these men are self-made. Elon Musk, his father, who was a very abusive by all accounts, owned a fucking emerald mine in South Africa. So he didn't like pull himself up from the bootstraps.
Kind of like Donald Trump took $1 million loan.
$1 million loan, a small $1 million loan from my father.
Right.
Bill Gates, everyone pretends like Bill Gates, sort of did this shit in his backyard. Maybe he did, and I'm not taking away from his genius, but it also didn't help that his mother was on the board of some company that the CEO of IBM was also on that board. So when she says, my baby Bill got this idea for a new computer, how about you back there?
That he also was in conjunction with 2 other people, but we're not going to talk about
that.
That.
And so my point is that we give these people too much. Whatever. It's all, I don't think that there's a huge conspiracy to like dumb people down, but it's all coming together like a motherfucker because people just don't read. And the latest thing on Facebook is that, it used to be that people used to post links to dumb shit. They don't even post links anymore. You notice that people will just post a picture of a headline and people will be like, yup. And I'm like, but where's the article that backs this up? Like they'll be like, Meghan Markle spit on the Queen of England, and it'll just be a picture of Meghan Markle and just a headline, Meghan Markle spit on the Queen of England, and it'll just be this picture, not a link to a story from the Daily Mail, which is bullshit because it's the Daily Mail, but it's just pictures now, and people are assuming because they see it in front of them that it's the truth.
Yeah. I don't know. We got to figure out something here, but but Elon, listen, I just can you leave the porn at least? Can we?
And then my whole other thing. Oh God, it's just that if you could come up with $44 billion,
baby,
think of all of the problems in this world that could literally be eradicated with that. He wants to be
with even $1 billion. How many problems you could eradicate?
But think about, and even like the stuff that he's already involved in. If that $44 billion was used to fund grants to improve space exploration, we could, like, if we set this goal, this $44 billion is going to be used to have a base on the moon by 2030.
Right.
Or get us to Mars, or land a ship on an asteroid. Because those asteroids are, like, there are almost certainly asteroids made of solid gold, or you could extract it. So, all of this, those are better uses of that $44 billion than fucking Twitter, of all the things in the world. But when you have that much money and you're that much of an egomaniac, you think that you have this prerogative. So anyway.
Well, and off of the 44 billion, and let's talk about 100 million, which is what Miss Black China has been facing off with against the Kardashians with.
That's never going to happen.
So let me bring you all up to speed again. China has been facing off with Chris, Kylie, Kim, and Khloe at trial, suing the famous family for $100 million in lost earnings because of her show Rob and China. It was reported in the Sun that the Kardashian family filed a trademark for Dream, her daughter by son Rob, in February 2019, 2 years after the model sued them in 2017. The trademark registered agent is Kardashian Incorporated, and the attorney on file is the same for the other Kardashian and Jenner grandchildren. The goods and services for the trademark include toy figures, doll accessories, dolls, play sets for action figures, bath toys, whole bunch of other crap. The Sun has been exclusively reporting on the bombshell trial as Chris testified last week that China once tried to murder Rob. But the thing that is making this so motherfucking funny for me is they filed this trademark with China's daughter or her daughter's name and are not giving her one dime whatsoever.
My first thing is
baby's mama at all.
I don't even see how you could legally trademark my child's name without my permission. I'm not even sure how that's legal.
But remember, Rob is still her father. And
I don't care as long as they have joint custody.
They don't. Remember, I don't know if they don't have joint custody because I know she's with.
I'm assuming,
but
if they don't have joint custody,
but I understand what you're saying.
If he's got full custody, then she's ass out. But if she's got custody, then I don't see how they could have trademarked her. Because my child, there's no way that you could have trademarked something for my child without me signing off on it.
Right. And it's a whole different story.
And here's the thing, girl, just go and get your own job, and don't fuck with these, but you trying to floss and do all this other stuff.
But I find that hilarious.
Very funny.
So former NFL player,
going to lose. She's not.
Listen. This is a stunt for her. I'm trying to figure out what her because this is a stunt for her. She knows she's not going to win this. But I
don't know what she thinks is going to come out of this. It's just going to be like some reality show,
it's going to be a lose-lose. Even if you get this money, it's going to be a lose for you in the long run because you may get this money, but you'll be just like this article, you'll be iced out of everything else that goes on.
Right.
But anyway, NFL player threatens a lawsuit against Joy Reid for child abuse remarks. So Jack Brewer, a former NFL player, is threatening to MSNBC's Joy Reid after she said a photo of young boys attending the signing of an anti-critical race theory bill in Florida is tantamount to child abuse. Now, Brewer is demanding an apology or else he will sue for defamation over her remarks. He said, "She has completely humiliated my kids in my program. It is just so hurtful and she needs to be held accountable."
I'm assuming Jack Brewer is black.
Jack Brewer is not black.
Oh. Keep going.
Okay, I'm sorry. She has completely humiliated my kids and my program. It is just so hurtful and she needs to be held accountable. She does it so often, and her words and the way she comes across to Black America leaves a stain on all of us. I won't put up with it when it comes to my kids. Last Friday, and you know what? Let me take that back. I don't know if he's black or not. I assumed he was not. I'm sorry. I take that back. So I don't know. Please let me know if he is. Ron DeSantis signed the Stop Woke Act into law, placing restrictions on training or credentials courses in schools and corporations that claim an individual's moral character or status has either privileged or oppressed is necessarily determined by his or her race, color, sex, or national origin. Reid honed in on the children who attended the signing ceremony for that bill on Twitter. Although the Stop Woke Act does not mention critical race theory by name, he's
black and he's a conservative. You know how you can tell?
Well,
he's got a fucked up hairline.
Although the Stop Woke Act does not mention critical race theory by name, supporters of the bill, including DeSantis, argue it was intended to curb the controversial thesis that claims systemic racism is pervasive in many U.S. institutions. Now, parents enrolled in the American Heroes program are given toolkits highlighting concerns with critical race theory. American Heroes claims to promote Christian leadership among youth and mentor students on academic proficiency. Brewer said, I'm a vocal advocate against CRT and anything that teaches kids anti-Christ rhetoric and teaches kids to hate and to see each other based on the color of their skin. I have students in the program who have gone to school and been told that they can't accomplish something because of the color of their skin. Listen,
so that's like He just proved the point in his own sentence. He said he has children in their program who have gone in his program, they have gone to school and told that they can't accomplish something because of the color of their skin, but he's against critical race theory.
But wait a minute. So this is the part that made me kiki. The aunt of the two boys that pictured in the tweet told the Washington Examiner her nephews knew what they were doing at the signing ceremony and blasted Reed for displaying hate and resentment and bitterness towards people that she knows nothing about. She says, I mean, she's painting these kids like they're just little black boys that don't know anything and could be exploited. Like they don't even have their own minds. And I don't see her doing it with white kids. And that's all I heard in my head. And I was like,
yeah.
But they are kids. But whatever. I would like to see how this is going to how this is going to play out. As of the time that I looked at this article, she had not responded. So I don't know what she's going to do or what she's going to say. But she had, I think he gave her 24 or 48 hours to respond to his demand for an apology. So I haven't heard anything as of yet. So why are you looking at me like I'm crazy?
So here's my problem with it. I think he has a point in as much as that comment was uncalled for, entirely uncalled for, to essentially call Jack, I was going to say Jack Johnson, Jack, and not Jack Dempsey. What the fuck is this man's name? Jack Brewer.
Yes.
A child abuser, essentially. That is inappropriate. I think this is another thing, is that in the rush to fill airtime, these news stations have gone from reporting the news to, because 90% of what you see on, like, even though I like MSNBC,
I do too,
and CNN, definitely don't like Fox, but at least the lion's share of what you see on all three of those, MSNBC, CNN, and Fox, is all opinion. So it's not news. It's their opinion on the news, and it's their opinion on various social issues. So when your whole thing is that you run the risk of saying ridiculous stuff, and she probably shouldn't have said that. She could have said that she didn't think it was appropriate for those two kids to be there because they're two black kids, and she could have pointed to statistics that showed black people in Florida are blah, 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 or this or that. But to call someone a child abuser, that's a very loaded statement.
Her words were tantamount to child abuse.
They were there as part of Jack Dempsey's, Jack Brewer's program. So she essentially called Jack Brewer a child abuser. I'm not saying I like, because I've never met Jack Brewer, but I already don't like him. Based on this whole thing and his whole statement about anti-Christ, anti-blah, blah, blah.
Right. I don't like the critical race. So first of all, I have a problem. I've always had a problem with critical race theory, in the sense that you made it sound as if it is, in my opinion, not factually based. Well, I shouldn't say it's not factually based. Not influential, or not having had an impact, and that it is racist, or that it is like I don't say race leaning, but favoring one particular race over another. I guess that is still racist, I guess. But yeah. And Florida, for me, is, I don't want to call it an armpit stain on our country's race relations, but y'all ain't really leading the way and trying to make things easier for POCs at all.
They aren't, but
and
you know, some people.
I feel like, but hold on, I feel like in your haste to get rid of the things that have happened up to this particular point, you are also not trying to erase the things that have happened up to this particular point with Christopher Columbus and everybody else that has come, but getting still in this civil rights era, in this 1900s or not 1900s, but in this time period after, actually in this time period from Christopher Columbus up until now, you're trying to erase everything else in here, slavery and all the racist, but you just want to pick out these 2 or 3 good things and make it like we are here and we're Americans and we built this place. But we did, as the descendants of the Africans that have come over here on slave ships, but you're not trying to understand what they went through. Like, I don't understand that. Like, how are you taking away a crucial piece of what has actually happened?
This is people want to point to places like what's happening in Florida and Texas and say, oh, these are outliers. They are just vocal about their hatred. But the election, going back before the election of Donald Trump, starting with the Tea Party and all of that in 2010, this is just an evolution of that, and culminating with the election of Donald Trump and even what happened in 2020. I mean, it was an electoral landslide. Yes, it was an electoral landslide, but Joe Biden won by the popular vote. But we cannot dismiss that 70 million people voted for Donald Trump. So this isn't like some fringe group, who are like, espousing something that is not the mainstream. This is half of the country. Mm-hmm. Half of the country believes this. Florida and Texas are just the most vocal things to that. And this allows other people who are equally as racist in their daily lives and in the way that they interact with people to say, oh, well, we're not like Florida or we're not like Texas. Yeah, girl, but you still clutch your purse anytime a Negro, gets there. There are certain areas of the city that you live in that you won't go in that you call sketchy, or, you don't interact with, Black people or people of color, or you go out to brunch and you call the Asian server Jackie Chan. So, anyway, we could go on about this forever.
That's a whole other.
Let's get into this beautiful bean footage, because I got some greens. I made some greens.
Greens, beans, potatoes, hams.
Actually, it's greens, sausage, and yellow rice. I love a yellow rice.
Yellow rice is cute. What kind of sausage?
Cajun andouille sausage.
Andouille sausage.
Hallelujah.
Get into this bean footage, y'all.
Well, all right. This has been a lovely evening.
It has. And I'm kind of tired. I still want my little treat. I don't know what I want to make when I want to make it. I feel like I'm having visions of like a honey bun, but I don't know if I want a honey bun. But I feel like maybe I'll go get a piece of cake. Maybe I'll get a piece of birthday cake.
I have a
Safeway.
pudding ring cake downstairs. You want to take it with you? It's like a quarter of it left.
No, I think
It's
I
limited.
want to. No, I think I want to. I think it is a taste for cake. Maybe I could do a carrot cake from Safeway, like a slice.
Yeah,
maybe I'll do that.
Well, all right, kids. It has been lovely. We thank you all for coming out. I have had a wonderful time as always, and I know you have too. So
it was all right. Y'all was cool.
Right, y'all was cool or whatever.
No, I absolutely had a wonderful time as always. I am a little I'm happy, but I'm a little kind of like, can we just get to summer, please?
Right.
I'm waiting for the summer. Just a spoonful to kill the craving.
Don't pay him. Don't even get into it. You know how he do. He be like, yeah, just a spoonful of ice cream to kill the craving. No, girl.
Listen, baby.
If by spoonful you mean all the way from the bottom and
all
like,
the way to the top.
This is a spoonful, yes.
And baby, I appreciate all that you are doing with your ministry.
You got going on,
listen,
but that ain't my ministry.
I do. I
appreciate
you. But
it ain't me.
Listen, Boo Boo's got to go have me a whole piece of cake. So
right.
But I'm just saying, that's just what I'm saying. But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with us. Bougie Girl, Links, Atlas, Bill, Best Friend,
Josh,
Freaking
McNasty,
Spectre, Lola, Southern Drawl, everybody. I just said your Atlas. Everybody, we definitely appreciate y'all. And Betty White's house is for sale. Oh, Dylan, yes for the cake. Right. So anyway, but it was fun, and now Daddy's going to take the T-Bird away.
Hallelujah. So thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night.
My engine is stalling.